Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report. Well, we talked a lot about the cattle supply and the shrinking cattle herd in the U.S. in our first marketing roundtable. As we see this contraction continue to take place, and rebuilding is not taking place yet, do you think that that's going to start impacting packer capacity, Daryl?
You know, it's a question that's out there. It's one that I get frequently. Packers have to make expectations just like producers do. And I guess the way I see it at this point in time is I don't think Packers are making those kinds of expectations that they're going to have to exit the industry. And obviously the big question would be who would do it, who would have to sort of give up first. And so, now if we go another 2-3 years, if drought continues and we're not done with liquidation at this point, there could get to be a point where that will become a more relevant question. I don't think it's an immediate question for the next couple of years at least.
Neville and Dave, I see you guys shaking your head yes. You agree with Daryl?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's never going to be an impulsive decision, right? If you're a big, large packer, you're going to make that decision very, very carefully.
Yeah.
Dave, do you want to add anything?
Just on the other side of things, let's talk about one of the big four in the cattle. They've made some business decisions to shut down some poultry plants, right? Again, as Neville and Daryl said, it's certainly economics based. But the other thing is, folks, we're going to add some new shackle in this thing in the next couple of years as well.
Neville, when we look at beef demand,
Yeah.
we know with higher beef prices comes higher retail prices. Are we seeing any warning signs there with domestic beef demand?
Boy, I just reviewed some data from Anne-Marie Roerink, 210 Analytics, and showing you year-end results here. We still have pricing power. Pork and poultry don't have that. It's really been pretty amazing. Volume's down, but the beef industry has pricing power. Now the question is, we have to continue to deliver a very high quality, consistent product to be able to do that.
And Daryl, do you think the beef industry will do that?
Absolutely. We've made so much progress. I think that does speak to the strength in demand that we've seen. And again, going forward, we're going to have smaller supplies. That's likely to push prices higher, and the market's going to ration a limited supply. It also means that some people are not going to eat as much beef because we aren't going to have as much beef. But that doesn't mean that there's a demand problem. It's just there's a limited supply, and the market will figure out who wants it the most and who's going to be willing to pay the most.
Dave, on the export front, as you do look at higher prices, you look at the strength of the U.S. dollar that just continues. Are there any headwinds that you're watching for beef exports?
Yeah, I think there is. Certainly one of them is, as we talk about exports, China, 1.3 billion people. Times any factor is a big number, right? I do believe what we're seeing going on over there during their ASF debut, and they have been on the hog side losing numbers. They got a taste of U.S. beef time, and they like it. I believe that between the Asian Pacific Rim, that we're going to see things grow on the export side.
Neville, are you optimistic about beef exports too?
We can get there, but I think we need to remind ourselves amidst this market, this year's been tough, right? We've seen some challenges with South Korea and Japan and China, and we do have some headwinds there, but the opportunity's incredible.
Daryl, I know you talk to a lot of producers. You get a lot of questions, but what is the one thing that you want to leave cattle producers here with today?
Well, again, I think, really it comes down to this. What we're seeing now looks a lot like something we went through 10 years ago. That shaped our expectations then. I think it's shaping our expectations up to this point now. And I think what we've covered here today sort of verifies the fact that this is, even though it looks the same on the face of it, it's a different setup right now. We don't have heifers to start with to rebuild this herd. It's going to be a much slower process going forward.
Well, I really appreciate you, Daryl, Neville, and Dave. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we need to take a quick break, and then we'll have much more right here on U.S. Farm Report.